Donald Trump, what a right swine he is. There's no argument there, the sexism and the outrage. And Barack Obama, why, he's like a presidential Jesus, isn't he? Look at this lovely speech where he talks about his wife and how lovely he is and how charming, and he smoked marijuana once. Politics is a simple business. Or is it? Here's some truths.
My fellow Americans, it has been the honor of my life to serve you.
In the context of Donald Trump, Barack Obama does seem, even for me, who's a person who likes to think of myself outside the system, man, looking at the whole thing as a swarm of corruption, I still look at Barack Obama and think, I like him. I think he'd be a nice person to hang out with, and probably if I met him, I'd feel sort of nervous and a bit like I wanted him to like me. Donald Trump, I have met him. I didn't feel those things. I felt sort of like, this is mad to be in this guy. And then, of course, he became President of America, and I had to really reevaluate the way I saw the world. But Barack Obama, for all of his superficial, I'm not saying shallow, but like on the surface, charm, has had an interesting presidency. Let's have a look at some of the facts of the matter. There have been loads of positives around climate change policy, healthcare, gender equality, same-sex marriage, a liberal agenda well met, people's rights respected, and real improvement. But during the period of Barack Obama becoming president, that 8-year period, which I really personally remember, I remember watching him become president and thinking, this is amazing, this is so optimistic, and like America's got an African American president, he's charming, he's charismatic, Oprah Winfrey's crying, everything's gonna be alright. But now, on the other side of that, what has happened to America? Well, during that time, you know when you hear that statistic, do you know the richest 35 people in the world have got as much money as 3.5 billion poorest? You think, I can't even wrap my head around that. Well, it's easier now, because now 8 people have got the same amount of wealth as the poorest half of the world's population. Like, isn't the natural endpoint that one person's going to have all of the money and everyone else is going to have nothing?
To begin with, our democracy won't work without a sense that everyone has economic opportunity. And the good news is that today the economy is growing again.
This is where storytelling becomes more important than reality. The story of Obama as a nice man is an easy one to believe in because on a personal level, he is so likeable. And in the context of an emergent political figure like Donald Trump, who's saying outrageous sexist things, outrageous racist things, you think, well, at least this guy fits in with our story of what the world is. But the story of what the world is not the reality of what the world is. Also, during Obama's presidency, he's not focused on bringing to justice the financial criminals that brought about that crash, and we've just all sort of forgotten about it and ignored it. 2.5 million immigrants were deported under Obama, and like that's, I remember when I saw a stat or whatever where Trump goes, we'll kick out 3.5 billion Mexicans. Everyone thinking, oh my god, well that was happening anyway. Like, just because it's a nicer president doing it, the principle remains the same.
Yes, our progress has been uneven. The work of democracy has always been hard. It's always been contentious. Sometimes it's been bloody. For every 2 steps forward, it often feels we take 1 step back.
Some of them cheering the idea of 1 step back. Woo! Yeah, 1 step back. There you go. What are you cheering that for? It's not a barn dance.
Our law enforcement agencies are more effective and vigilant than ever.
In the world of privacy, which I suppose is what freedom amounts to on a personal level, there's been the creation of a massive surveillance program. Meanwhile, Edward Snowden has been hugely vilified, and I think now lives in a shed in some snow by one of Putin's old shoes.
We have taken out tens of thousands of terrorists, including bin Laden.
They're the old neoliberal audience, erring slightly from the sort of path of peace and love, cheering tens of thousands of people being taken out. Is that, I suppose, what we're supposed to take from it? Is all these people that are getting bombed in faraway countries by remote control were de facto terrorists? They might have just been people.
The global coalition we're leading against ISIL has taken out their leaders and taken away about half their territory.
Do you remember, like 9 months into his presidency, in the glory days, in the Yes We Can change, blue and red poster days, Obama was awarded the Nobel Prize. And it turns out that was mostly on the basis of aspirational speeches. I really like these speeches. Some of those things you said are really good. Have a peace prize. Actually, though, what he done, because it was about peace and global peace and let's sort out the Middle East type speeches, check out what actually happened, though. He's the only president who served 2 complete terms and been at war the entire time. US US special operators can be found in 70% of the world's nations, 138 countries.
ISIL will be destroyed, and no one who threatens America will ever be safe.
You can sort of see what's codified within that is it's sort of the same message of Donald Trump. If Donald Trump's sort of going, "We will destroy ISIL," like a big mad orange puppet, it seems unpleasant. But because he's more sophisticated, because he appeals more to what has been the defining aesthetic of the last 20 years, he's acceptable to the people that are consuming media and participating in what is known as the public sphere. Sorry for doing that. But really, Donald Trump represents the insurgence of a new energy that was bubbling away beneath that, not included in that space, that feels that this kind of dialogue pisses him off.
We have what we need to do so. We have everything we need to meet those challenges. After all, we remain the wealthiest, most powerful, and most respected nation on earth.
What we have to remember, us, the people of the world that are open-minded and are interested in change, and if human beings are capable of operating on a worthwhile spiritual level, is while we might find some of the things Donald Trump does and says and seems to represent a bit detestable and unpleasant, the actual reality is that Barack Obama presided over a time where the defining capitalism and global dominance of the United States, the sort of the MO, the world order as we know it and somewhat dislike it, continued and flourished fine. So when you're thinking, oh, this is a dark time, isn't it? We're losing lovely old Barack Obama and that bastard sexist pig Trump's coming in. Well, just remember that the facts of the matter are that while Barack Obama was president, rich were getting richer, financial criminals weren't getting persecuted, people were getting bombed at an alarming rate, 10 times more drone strikes than Bush, and we all disliked him intensely, 26,171 bombs, that's 3 bombs every hour, 24 hours a day. Oh, 20 minutes, better do a bombing.
Our drive, our diversity and openness, our boundless capacity for risk and reinvention means that the future should be ours.
I think this is the problem with neoliberalism. If you are a person that's not in arse-breaking poverty, you just want nice stuff to be said. And Barack Obama's a president that says nice stuff. Donald Trump doesn't say nice stuff, he says sort of unpleasant stuff. The world though, the actual world, seems to be staying the same if you're a person being bombed in the Yemen or having your privacy invaded by new surveillance laws. But at least we get to see a nice guy saying nice stuff while those children are being bombed in other countries. And if that's what our democracy is reduced to, the stuff we listen to while the same thing happens, then that's not a very good system, is it?
Now, this is where I learned that change only happens when ordinary people get involved and they get engaged.
I suppose we have to question what getting engaged means, because we've seen that engagement in the current political sphere, the way it's designed, because one of the things we've seen after both Brexit and the election of Donald Trump is loads of people going, oh no, there should be a recount, that wasn't right, more people voted for bloody Clinton. You're sort of seeing people complaining about the mechanism of democracy because they're now being affected by the fact that democracy is an inefficient tool. So perhaps engagement and indeed the rules of the game in which we are engaged need to alter.
Yes, we can. Yes, we did. May God continue to bless the United States of America.
True News, subscribe here.
Nose is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Trews is like the nose. If the nose was true, I want some Trews. Let's have some Trews.